Welcome to the Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors podcast, your home for the latest products and news in the shooting sports, hunting, and the great outdoors. And now, here are your hosts, Jake Cawthon and Jason Westmoreland.
Hey everybody, it is Jake and Jason here, live from Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors.
Another wonderful podcast.
Absolutely. So, I like this. We're doing more than one a day, kind of getting some...
Get it going.
Getting them in the pocket. So
people are getting excited.
I know. This is going to be one of my favorite podcasts because we're talking about something that I love and everybody around here loves.
Springtime?
It's springtime in Texas. Coolest time of year. Get the long days. You can get off work, go shoot. That's what I did last night.
That right there is the best part.
You know, Mel, my wife, she's like, dude, why aren't you shooting anymore? And I'm like, because it gets dark at 6. Like, by the time I get home, it is dark. And
there's something about it. The moment it's dark and I get home, I just want to sit
psychological.
down.
I'm done.
It has to be.
I'm done. Yeah, absolutely.
But
now
it might
I'm
be
like,
5:45, but you think it's midnight.
Yeah, and now I'm like, there's chores to do.
Let's do stuff.
And I'm more likely if I get home at a reasonable hour and it's daylight and I start doing stuff, the ball keeps rolling, even after dark, rather than opposed to leaving here when it's dark. So love it. It's beautiful. Wildflowers everywhere. Fields full of bluebonnets. You and I just took our families out and did the traditional Texas bluebonnet photos. Mm-hmm. That was awesome. Thank you, Mr. Ed Holzman, for letting us use your field.
You got to. I think that's a state law. You got to do it. You must. If you got kids, if you got a family, you got to take bluebonnet pictures in the spring.
Absolutely. I mean, I know we got friends and family from out of the country, and when they come here, this is the time of year they want to come with the wildflowers, Indian paintbrushes, just everywhere.
There's one as you go through the Coleman Bottom. I don't know what it is, but a little yellow flower, whole field full of them.
There's one right when you turn in to go to my house on the right-hand side. It's just...
I don't know what that flower is, but it is. It's pretty.
It's bright. Heck yeah. So, but shooting again. So last night, I broke out the Christensen 22, the Ranger.
Ooh, there you go. Mr. Fancy over here.
Started. Don't listen to this guy.
All I have is a Glenfield Model 60. Hand me down, broke stock, rusted.
Oh my gosh, you're the one who probably started this with the whole crew, getting these high-end 22s and shooting them extreme long ranges. And when I say extreme long range, like out to 320 yards. But I wasn't doing that yesterday.
I don't have one
anymore.
I don't think I've ever had one.
You were looking at
the Voodoos.
The Voodoos, you turd.
Well, so the problem was, I started with the Voodoos. Well, I want, there was the Bagars, and then there was the Christensens, and then there was the Voodoos, because I have to one up everybody.
The Taxol.
Yeah, Tactical Solutions. There you go. But I haven't done it yet, but I think I may end up building a little Circle Star Rimex clone. Yeah. Carbon fiber, that's proof barrel.
You're taking on a lot there, buddy. We'll see what you got.
Yeah.
So I started at 50 yards because I hadn't shot it in essentially, 6-7 months. Mm-hmm. And I was shooting a green tag by CCI.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
It is.
Very consistent stuff.
They went up in price a little bit, but still.
Tell me what hasn't. Story of my dang life right now.
It's everything.
You buy groceries, bread's like $900.
So I went out there and I was having inconsistencies last year with my suppressor, and I know the guys in the long range are like, don't use your suppressor with the rimfire. It's going to affect your POI at the end of the day. And probably because I've got about 1,000 rounds through my can and I haven't cleaned it.
Probably.
It was really inconsistent at 50 yards. Huh. Notice, which is good.
Folks, that has absolutely nothing to do with the can or the rifle. It's 100%.
Yeah, probably. So I took, it's the first time, and if that wouldn't have been happening, it didn't happen last year, but I've shot through a lot through it since then. But I took the suppressor off. Oh, yeah. And, dude, just tightened up.
Interesting.
And then I moved back to 75 yards because, I didn't know how to, and then moved back to 90, and then I put it at 100, and I got it right. And my last 5 shots, and it's not the cleanest pathway. There's some grass and stuff, but I can still pretty much see where I'm going at. I need to mow a cleaner pathway. But I all got them within probably 1.5 inches of each other.
It's not bad.
No. Considering, I'm using that towel for a shooting bag.
So,
I don't know, plastic rickety table.
So if half inch is considered MOA, is a half inch at 50? Mm-hmm. No, let me rephrase that.
Inch.
A 1 inch at 50. So, you're shooting 3/4 MOA at 100 with a 22. Yeah. That's pretty damn good.
It's, 1.012 or whatever is true MOA.
Something like that.
Anyways,
call it an inch.
Yeah, but I was pretty happy with it.
2 inches. 2 inches at 100, an inch at 50.
I was going to show you a picture here. And I can show it to the people on the YouTubes.
The YouTubes. It'd be number 2.
So if y'all can move see that a little bit. I'll show it to you, sir. If I can get over there.
There. That's my plug.
There, they could always do that. There you go. Thinking inside and outside the box at the same time.
There you go, sir.
So I did that, and of course I quit right after that. But now
Gotta leave it on a high note.
now I've got like stuff to do. Now I got to get a good bipod. I've been wanting to get that Atlas. We finally got it down here.
Only
with
one
the
way to go?
adapter. Yeah, it is. So I get that, and then I'm going to go over to Weebad. Get their fortune cookie bad.
Oh, they're nice.
They are, and then I've been talking to a lot of the guys. That's what they shoot. In between those two, now I just and the only other step I got to get a solid shooting table, like literally solid, because what I have is plastic and.
So what a heck of a good segue that is, sir.
What you got, buddy?
Good news. Tomorrow, this would be April the 5th for those watching on the YouTubes and on the podcast.
Right.
We talked about him last week. Solid Dave Lewis.
Yeah.
He'll be by, and he's going to build us a shooting table for here.
Fantastic.
Because, we've got some stuff coming up, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it in a minute, but he's got his gun he's never shot.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never shot it. I've never shot my can I've had for 2 years. Dave lives in the city. He doesn't get out a whole lot.
Yeah.
And also, you got 3 girls, so not a lot of boy time.
Yeah.
And his girls are not really into this. Anyways, so
He's got one up and coming that's going to be for sure.
Yeah, the little one.
Yeah.
But he was asking if I knew where to go, asking which range. And he was just going to go over to the indoor range, a town over. And he goes, I'm hoping they'll let me. They may not.
Yeah.
And I said, man, we've been talking about this. And he was over here the other day. I said, go bring us some 2x2 stakes for those little rings that we got in the back.
Yep.
And then I said, I'll pay for the lumber if you'll put in the sweat equity.
Yeah.
And we'll just go finally build ourselves a little range in the back like we've been wanting. And he said, done deal.
Nice.
So he'll be
and
here.
we could probably get, 200 yards there?
If we go from the back of the oil field pad, 300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Cool.
that's kind of, my thought is, well, since
You
we
might
got
have to get another load of dirt in there.
No, there's a load of dirt that's just grown over.
Okay.
When they were building the pond, I had them.
I remember that, but I didn't know with the rain how tall it.
Oh yeah, we'll go look. But if we go from the back of the oil pad, if we put the bench there because it's flat and square,
Right.
I figured we could go and kind of put one of the rings at like 100, and then another one at 200, and then we'll put
Absolutely.
one right there at the berm at 3. We could get some good data in that way.
We could. We could do that, and then it's all the consistency of shooting because we like to go back there. Behind the property here, we also have a pond that we've stocked for our kids to go back and fish and play, and because they spend a lot of time up here, so they get bored in the gun store, so they have a creek to play in. They do.
Yeah.
They play Craig of the Creek back there, do their thing. They dig it. But we have a fish pond, and but in the summertime, it's our swimming pool.
Oh, very much
It's
so.
the cement pond. So we float around back there. But if we could culminate that with shooting and what a good time.
See, that's what I'm kind of looking forward to at the moment. And one of my big things with spring is that this is my trial and error season. Yesterday I had a big long day of dog training, like I do every Wednesday.
Oh, do you train dogs?
A little into them. Teach them to bark and roll over, the little stuff.
It's like a vegetarian or somebody who's like does CrossFit.
I never bring it
Oh
up.
my God.
Unless I'm talking about what I did.
Somebody could be on the other side of this parking lot and they could be like, yeah, I train dogs. And Jake Spears parking up, he's running over there. I train dog too, buddy. Did we just become best friends?
Just best friends. Anyways, I was doing something yesterday that I'm not going to disclose. Anyways, on the way back, knowing that Dave was coming tomorrow, I'm halfway through load development for my 6.5, and I rushed over there and finished loading out 10. So I plan to stick around and work tomorrow and shooting those. I've got the speed nodule figured out. I'm just seeing. I have an A and a B. I'm either going to go with Winchester Stayball 6.5, which I get like a 50 feet per second faster, and it's hovering about.
What gun are you taking?
I don't know yet. That's
I see
why.
that one downstairs keeps coming up cart and going back together. It's been a labor of love.
Oh
but
no, that's a whole different story. I was so mad about that. But hold on, let me finish my first one.
Okay.
So I'm working on this load development for the 6.5, and I'm between H4350 and Stayball 6.5. And the Stayball is 50 feet per second faster, hovering about a half inch. And then, but I've got the 4350 loaded up. That's what I did last night.
It's easier to find, the 4350.
It is, but if I can get a pound or two, I'll load up a couple hundred rounds. That'd be a good long time.
Yeah, long time.
It's not like I shoot it all the time.
Right.
Anyways, that I'm gonna shoot those tomorrow afternoon after work because we got sunlight. We can do whatever we want, right?
Yeah.
But I might take that one I'm building downstairs, and the only reason that stupid thing's apart. So
It's drastically changed colors since the last time I've seen it.
that's why I'm back apart. So the store has started manufacturing or having manufactured for us our own bolt action receivers.
Awesome. Bolt action receivers.
They're manufactured to our spec. They're 700 footprints. They're blueprint and true. They've got a lot of perks, and we'll talk about those in another podcast. But I've got it mated that my receiver is paired to a Proof Research carbon fiber barrel in 7 PRC, and then I have an Iota all carbon fiber stock. Well, I had, and let's see. Oh, it also has a Trigger Tech diamond trigger in it. So that's that build out. Anyways, so I had it all sponge painted and looking pretty and ready to rock and roll. Well, I want the carbon fiber to kind of pull through because carbon fiber, right? You want to kind of show it off.
Everybody.
Yeah. So I went down to O'Reilly's Monday morning. Yeah, it was Monday. And I bought Ultra Matte Clear Coat. Keyword, Ultra Matte. Because that's what Horizon says they use on theirs to pull the carbon fiber out. I'm like, all right, cool. Matte. Matte's matte. Matte's not shiny.
Right.
This sucker was like super duper high gloss.
You let it dry and everything. It was still like shining.
Crazy shiny.
Really?
Like, imagine
Like mirror finish type.
Imagine the car you would see at like a Bear Jackson
wet.
auction.
Yeah.
It looked wet.
No.
And
That's like, so if you're gonna redo it,
I should have that sucker back down to nothing.
my tip would be to make you use 3 colors, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'd make your second color the orange and put like the light gray on top of that.
Yeah, I thought about it. Yeah, that's a good thought. I already did the gray, which ends up almost drying out the black.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to do the orange, and then that blue ends up real dark.
Yep.
I think I'm going to do the orange and then the blue, so it kind of covers some of it.
There you go.
Because I think you're right. When I did the orange on top of it the last time, it was a little much.
Yeah.
Like I could
It'll look good.
If it would have matted out and been fine, I would have been very happy.
Yeah.
I've been happy enough. But now that I had to strip that sucker back to nothing, here we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I'm working on at the moment. And if I want to get it back together because as soon as I have my Creedmoor dialed in, I go back to trial and error on the PRC and I start building that one out. So that's my favorite part of spring this is the time that I start testing and trying and playing and seeing, oh, do I want to try this bullet or that bullet or this weight or that weight? Because I've got time. I can load up 10 or 20, run them through the chrono, get grouping, and kind of play with it.
Yeah. It's a fun time of year, and it allows us to do that. I went out 2 nights ago with my HK 416 clone, the 22 pistol configuration with a brace, a silencer Cospero, and a Trijicon Reap IR on top of it. And in an hour and a half,
And you call me bougie.
whatever,
Yeah, $8,000 thermal on a 22.
it kills. That it works. I put that thing to work.
I don't know what it costs. I just know the sound it makes when it kills
That's exactly
a coon.
right. Yeah, but I walked around the property and killed 11 possums and 3 raccoons in a reasonably short period of time, and with the green tips, which are not hunting rounds. They're an expensive round to use through there, but it's what I had.
Yeah.
And then
The green tag, not green tip.
tag. I'm sorry, I call them green tip.
I was like, dang, you got a real 416?
What?
You've been holding out on me.
It's APs. No. So, but it got to the point they're accurate enough to where I got cocky. Like shots I normally wouldn't make.
Oh, yeah.
And they were connecting. And I'd think it was just blind luck. But like stuff's running off, and every time I hit, it's a dook.
And then it's like, you got it again and again.
Yeah, it happens 3 or 4 times. You're like, man.
And see, that's the best part of that. We've talked about it before with suppressors. hits or misses. There's no doubt about
Oh,
it.
absolutely. yeah. We've had buddies before that have tried to, I hit him 3 times, and everybody's like,
No, you didn't.
No, you clean misses.
You got to make them. Got to give them a little. What do you call it?
Give them the business.
Yeah, you benefit the doubt. Like you sure did, buddy.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It's like taking your kids out.
So that's the awesome things about spring. Now in spring in Texas, there are, I got plenty of good bunny stories because of things that come out during springtime that you're not really paying attention to the rest of the year that much. Snakes being one of them.
That's true.
Scorpions, wasp. You have to deal with,
Dude, I got the best scorpion story right now.
This
It
is
has nothing to do with springtime hunting. It's just funny.
this is the time of year, where you're more likely to deal with mud, fire ants, like all the creepy crawlies that are out there,
Ticks.
ticks,
Like crazy right now.
chiggers. Oh dear Lord, yeah,
Dude.
yeah. And for those of y'all who aren't, you know what a tick is. If you don't know what a ticker is, they'll make your life miserable.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a red pepper, like
If you
ground
ever
pepper.
see them, they're tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yeah, they're tiny, like kind of like if you had just one little piece of like black ground pepper on a plate, but make it a little red bug that bites you and it hurts and it itches like crazy.
for a week.
Yeah, and if you get one, you got like 100.
And then we have the mosquitoes are coming back.
Oh, I went to one of my rent houses yesterday. I feel bad for them. They were everywhere.
Dude. And then
I ended up spraying Demon just in like a water puddle to see if it'd kill them.
And we have everybody's favorite in Texas. Not really harmful, but just God annoying. We have the June bugs and the love bugs. And
Oh yeah,
I've got the June bugs now. I mean, they're in the parking lot. We're having to blow it off. But the love bugs, I saw my first one yesterday, and I'm like,
See, the June bugs don't really bother me. They're just kind of annoying because they just die and they're there. Not around the house because my chickens eat the snot at them. Maybe that's what we need, chickens.
See, my dogs like to eat them and then come into the house and show them to me after they've eaten
Nice.
them. Oh yeah. And my wife, the best part about June bugs in my life, my wife is when I say terrified of them, like
Really?
it's a phobia. And when she walks in the front door, because they congregate under the lights,
Oh yeah.
when that lucky minute when one gets in her hair,
Oh,
all I can do is sit back and watch because it's glorious. I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to try to get it on video for you one day.
well, see, that's my scorpion story. It was, I don't know, within the last week or so. Because you're right. We got bark scorpions, a little like, I don't know, for me, just generic like a scorpion. And it was in the morning, and Becca's taking a shower, and I'm brushing my teeth, just bebop, get ready for work. That's what I'm doing, right? And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, screaming, just flying, water splashing, the door to the shower because the glass door swings open. And she's panicking. You would thought like something bitter. She's right. Turns out there's a scorpion on the ceiling of the shower, and it decided to fall onto her.
Oh,
And
snap.
it fell on her head, and she just lost it.
I know.
And it was
Dude.
amazing.
And she was in the shower?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, she came out, obviously she's wet, right? So she hits the tile, she eats it in the bathroom. Then she's panicking. She doesn't know where it's at. She thinks it's in her hair.
She's got to be careful while hopping around like that in the shower. At her age, she'll break
her
a
age,
hip.
in a hurry.
Man.
A woman her age can't be doing stuff like that.
Let's see.
She didn't hear us.
No, we would have known by now. She's in the office next to us, so we would have definitely
like right there.
We would have definitely known. My wife, I don't know how she's made it this long in life without getting stung by a scorpion, but 3 nights ago she got her first scorpion bite,
Oh, yeah.
and it really hurt. Her finger was full up the entire next day, and she's like, I didn't know they were that bad. You don't act like they hurt that much, and I'm like, they do. I just internalize stuff. We kind of like with emotion. You
Just got to bury
put
deep.
it in. Yeah.
They suck all the time, but they're 20 times worse when you're dead asleep
Oh, my
and one
God.
gets you.
I don't know why there's something about the bed.
Warm
I'm
and
a
toasty.
very light sleeper. Like
Me too.
My ass. Yeah, no. And I can hear it will wake me up if a scorpion falls from the ceiling and lands on the sheet. It's a very distinct sound. It's a little plop, and you want to see me get out of bed quick. That's the way. And it's not women and children first in my bed. It's like I hop out, y'all get out. I've never thought of that as a tool for like first thing in the morning when I'm dragging them out of bed. I should just say scorpion one day.
Just drop it. Oh,
no, all you gotta do is just say the word. Be like scorpion.
See, I
It's
thought you
kinda
would.
La
No,
Migra.
no, you just go get you go get your emperor scorpion. Just have like a little alarm scorpion. Just be like, wake up, drop it.
Yeah, I would die in my sleep if that happened. She would make sure of it.
See, that's my favorite thing to do because in the morning, we'll wake up the kids, but we'll get the dogs all amped up. Wake up, crew, and then just open the door and like basically just send them in there. And so they hop on the bed and the kids sleep. Now they're all freaking out because they don't know what's going on.
Samantha was in here, Saturday? Yeah, she wasn't real happy with y'all. Apparently, she was trying to sleep, and everybody, and the dogs, dog-piled her in bed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's not a fan of that.
Why do you think we do something
I
like
know.
this?
I was like, dang, I wish I was there too. We jumping up and down on your bed. Wake up, Samantha.
Wake up.
And wasp and bees. That's a thing. So we lost a good friend of ours, Randy Clear. He was our livestock officer for a true Texas character. And I was working, I wasn't able to make it to his funeral. So I went like 2 days later out there, paid my respects in the cemetery. And it's called Oddfellow Cemetery. And it is the creepiest cemetery you'll ever be in because it is so old and so all these old, majestic, giant trees, but they're a little overgrown and it's kind of dark.
Oh, yeah.
And because of the age of some of the graves, a lot of the
It's surprisingly dark for being on top of a hill.
It is. And a lot of the tombstones have faded or begin to fall over. And then some of and they have tombs, which weird. And then some of them, there'll be a tombstone and right in front of it, there's like a recessed area where, over the last 150 years, a casket collapsed.
Yeah.
So you can tell what it is. So anyways, I go and I'm walking back and I got my kid with me. And I don't know if it was what I was wearing or if the bees just woke up and chose violence, but I walked past a tree that had a beehive in it.
Well, you wear a shirt that's covered in roses. It's going to happen.
Maybe I was wearing, it's a blouse, sir.
It's dainty. It's pretty.
And dude, they lit me up. Didn't tag my kid once who was right next to me, but he got to hear Daddy say all the words. I say it's like SpongeBob. It was just like dolphin sounds in the background. It was bad, but funny. I'm thinking my buddy Randy there. If he's watching from above, he's like, that shit's funny. Oh man! And then of course, like I said, the wasps are everywhere. I've already started knocking the nest down,
Left and right.
but what's not funny is at nighttime when you're hunting, whether it's for predators or pigs or whatever, and you walk scrape through a yopine bush and it has a wasp nest in it.
Oh, yeah.
Man, again, all the bad words.
But speaking of spring,
that's
so I don't know if you would count this as the official end of hunting season or the beginning, because if you play your cards right, you can kind of find something.
a lot of guys around here, and I'm probably guilty as anybody, consider there's the end of hunting season and the beginning of fishing season.
True.
Here,
Yeah. Because if you play your cards right, let's think of it. Let's go fall to fall, because that's how most people break down their hunting seasons,
Yep.
right? So you start with dove season, and that'll roll into deer and duck, which will roll into February nothing.
And turkey now.
Then March you pick back up turkey, and then that'll carry you over through April. And if you're a non-core county in Texas, that falls you into spring alligator, which carries through June.
Yeah, April 10th, 15th, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Through June.
Yep.
So then you have July and August. So really, if you play your cards right, there's only 3 months of the year you can't hunt in Texas.
Yeah. Got 8 alligators last year, and all of them were under 8 feet. No. Yup. So maybe this year, I don't know. It's just fun to go out there.
See, the interesting thing about the spring, and I think it's because where I grew up and where I've always lived, it's just some weird way, because there's a ton of turkeys in Texas. Have just never had turkeys. There's not a big population around Waco. There were none in Zapata. There's none here. So I never got big into turkey hunting, but I've got some friends, especially friends from like Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Arkansas.
Dude.
Like, it's a religion.
It is.
It may be bigger in deer season.
Next to elk hunting, it's because of their keen eyesight and the fact that you call them in.
Oh.
It's right there.
I've been.
It's weird
It's
to
a
have that
blast.
adrenaline rush over a bird.
Oh, yeah.
A bird that, doesn't taste near as good as the store-bought version. I hate to say that. Wouldn't say that with just about any other meat, but they're lean, Some of them would be a little tough.
They're kind of stringy.
Yeah, I mean,
But blast to hunt.
they're blast out, and they're good. It's just you're not getting the same hormone, big,
Yeah,
muscly, store bought bird.
that's true.
And then, but it, yeah. So you're right. And then if you're blessed enough to be able to travel a little bit, like the hunt we were talking about earlier, trying to choose the gun, we've got a black bear hunt in Montana in
May. So that season runs.
6 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, that season runs through April and May, and there's only a handful of states that let you hunt in the spring anymore, anyways.
Yeah. You have to be very vigilant on and patient identifying your bear. Make sure it's not a sow with cubs, and yeah, which just common sense. But if you put the time and effort in to getting out there, you should probably know.
See, the interesting thing with the bear hunt when I went on a couple years ago, you have to take a class. Mm-hmm. It's a bear identification class because there are brown bear in the lower 48s, and they are protected in every lower 48 state. Mm-hmm. And so you had to make sure you can pick the right ones. And
Hey, did you know some black bears can be in different phases, like cinnamon phase?
Oh yeah, my wife
Dude, she cracks me up
every dang time.
She's got an opportunity. Says black bear. Well, that's technically not a black bear. I'm like, dude, what did Jake teach you? It's so funny.
No, she's just being dumb about it.
But it's awesome.
So a black
she knows it
bear,
irritates you, which makes it
black bear can have color phases, right?
Uh-huh.
So the dominant's jet black, then you've got cinnamon colored. There's a darker brown, and then there are blondes.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that makes sense. Like they're just color phase bears.
Gotcha.
But my wife, being her, she's like, well, is it a black bear or is it a black cinnamon bear or is it a black blonde bear or da 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 da?
And she knows it drives you crazy, and she keeps doing it, and it makes me happy.
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
It's like, oh my gosh, Becca, it's just a black bear. How can it be a black bear if it's blonde? Why don't you call it a blonde bear? Because it's the same thing. It's just color variation. What is that? Da, 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 da. I was like, all right, you know what? You're not going anymore. I took you one time. You're banned.
I need to go give her another high five because that makes me happy.
But I am excited over our bear hunt this year for several different reasons. Mm-hmm. One, anytime I get to go to Montana to the mountains, I'm always happy about that. Two, Dave is getting to go with us this year, which is neat.
That's stellar.
But
here's the big one.
We're about to see a little boy become a man.
And so his son, Travis, is going. Travis is now...
He'll be 12. He'll be 12 at the end of this month.
And I think it's a little intense for a first time. I've expressed that.
Yeah. And I have been very, very open and honest with him about this. And hey, it's kind of a dangerous hunt because of the brown bears. It's a very strenuous hunt.
That's the part yeah.
But
I mean,
I know plenty of folks that got kids that go do it, and he's determined.
We'll move at his pace, and
yeah.
That's
my whole plan. I've shot the bear. I've shot a bear before, so I'm not as worried about it. I want him to have a good time, so I'm going to plan my hunt around him. Heck, realistically, if we find one, I'm letting him shoot anyways.
Yeah.
So
unless it's beats your record. If it's over 60 pounds, then you probably take a squeeze on it.
Good. I shot that one because it was pretty.
He shot that one because it was a bear.
Hey, how many elk have we killed so far?
Oh my gosh!
So you know what? The first bear I saw was like, good enough.
Yep.
Bam.
Oh, that's how I was this year.
That's rule number one of public land.
Yep.
Never pass on day one what you shoot day 5. And she was dang sure day 5 bear.
Yeah.
Turns out day 2 found a gigantic brown one.
No, her color phase is fantastic. If you ever come into the showroom, she's right when you walk in. Look up to the left.
She's sitting on a tree limb.
Sitting on a tree.
B&B did a good job again.
What else about spring? Springtime, I mean, just before snakes. Good God. You're between, I don't know if it's where you're located or the fact that you have chickens and cats and everything else. You don't get copperheads like I do.
Mm-mm.
But
I haven't seen one in probably 2 years.
I'm loaded with them. And
I think it's the creek that's next to your house. It has to be.
That's the only pond or who knows. But at night hunting, it is something to watch out for sure. I've been bit twice, and both times while hunting. Mm-hmm. So once while my papa coon hunting with him, he went over a log, and I went over the same log, but I didn't clear it as much as he did, and I got popped on the inside of the thigh, real close to the no-touch zone.
Ooh.
Yeah. I remember my grandfather making jokes about it because it turned out to be a dry bite.
Nice.
And he was telling me how lucky I was because no sucking poisons out there, buddy. You're going to die. And then in Texas especially, with all the Osage orange and everything wanting to poke you and everything, I know not to put my hand, don't touch anything when you're walking around at night. If you can't see it, don't touch it. Just,
hell no.
just don't. And broke the rule. And that was not a dry bite. A little copperhead got me, and that one sucked. I was in the hospital for about a day and a half, and thank God I didn't. I got to keep my appendage, but so now I keep an extra special eye out for them.
So that's not the one I've always been worried around here. Not so much over by the house, but just on the east side of the county. You start getting in the timber rattlers,
Yeah,
and we've got some big
dude.
ones.
The biggest one I've ever seen is only 30 minutes from here. It was in the National Forest. Somebody hit him on the road.
Oh yeah.
He was the size of my thigh. Like he was huge. Yeah, and they're intimidating just by their size and everything else.
They're not as agitated as the Diamondbacks seem to be, the Western Diamondbacks.
No.
See, I've harassed a bunch of them,
Yeah.
both Diamondback and Timber Rattler, and
Yeah.
it seems like the Timber Rattler is not as like the Diamondback's just mad it's alive.
Yeah.
Like you're like, hey, you, and it starts rattling and gets all defensive. You kind of have to like, at least in my experience,
I
like,
was reading a cool article
poke
on
them
that
a
the other
couple
day.
times.
So because of all the rattlesnake roundups and, the rattlesnake you're going to kill is the one you hear most of the time. You might see him, but if you hear him, you're like, oh, well, there he is. So genetically, the ones that are predisposed to not rattle as much, or either that or born basically without rattles, or they keep one button, those are the ones that are multiplying and procreating. And so we're making these super rattlers with no rattle.
Super Rattler.
They're quiet.
No, I've always heard that's I heard it attributed to the pigs. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
But it makes sense though.
I can
I
see
mean,
it. Yeah.
if the dumb ones die,
Yeah.
the smart ones pass on.
That's how it works.
I owned a piece of property here, and that's what the manager of the property was saying. He was running his own little social experiment, is because he wouldn't let us put up lines or feeders, but we could drive around and shoot what we saw. So he goes, I'm training the deer to be smarter because only the dumb ones are dying on the road. I was like, and after about 5 or 6 years, you get hard pressed to kill a deer.
Wow.
They hear a truck and gone.
So you were mentioning the Western Diamondbacks. So I knew a gentleman, pretty well off, and he invited me to go out hunting out on his place. Well, his top hand was there with me, and I was going around with him and everything, and he saw a big rattlesnake, killed it. And anyways, his boss, the guy who invited me, is terrified of snakes, like terrified. So this guy, only way you could get away with this, he's worked for him for like 40 years. So he decides and teaches me the coolest trick. You take a fishing line, you tie it around the snake's neck, and then tie the other end to the inside door handle of the driver's side. And when that guy comes opening his door, he's got a rattlesnake just coming out at him.
I've done the same thing, but to a cooler.
Nice. That's how you get shot. And I mean, it got tense enough for a second. I thought he was going to shoot him. I was like, "Whoa, you for real, man?"
So this happened about the springtime, so it applies to here. Back when I was doing the warden thing.
If anybody utilizes these tricks, just please send a video to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd be really proud.
I got a good one where we're harassing the National Guard doing it too during a hurricane. Anyways, they don't find it funny, especially when their trucks are eye level.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, so I went down to this river spot, checked for fishermen one night, and I went down this road, turned around because nobody was there, and I drove back out. And so it's one way. There's no side streets, so it had to have been me that ran over it. I just didn't see it. But I ran over this copperhead just perfectly. It's about, 18, 20 inches. Pretty good sized copperhead, but not a monster.
Yeah.
But about that same time, I heard one of the deputies check out on traffic just down the road. And this is back when the Carlos store was still there. And it was Swank. I'll put his name out there. So anybody listening to this, like Constable-elect Ellis listens to us now.
Yeah.
The folks that know Swank can make fun of him. So
He's such a good guy.
yeah, so he checks out on traffic, and I pull over into the Carlos store, and I hit him on the radio, and I said, "Hey, when you're done with traffic, come meet me over here." And anyone ever is seen two cops talking, they pull up door to door so no one has to get out, right? Well, I got out because I had my copperhead in the bed of my pickup truck. So I'm sitting there and it's dead. I'm just enjoying myself. Swank pulls up, opens the door, but leans over to get his radio to let dispatch know he was going to be out with me for a minute. And when he did, I took that copperhead and tossed it at him. And it hit the top of that door and slid down to where the door meets the A-pillar. And I've never seen Swank or another person crawl across a vehicle so fast. And it's impressive for see him come out that passenger side door because there's the laptop, there's the radio, and he's just clawing his way like it's on him. Apparently, highly afraid of copperheads.
With good reason. That's funny. He's not going to appreciate you sharing that story, but I'm glad you did.
I tell everybody I can. That's my favorite Swank story. But talking about hunting in the spring.
We got to talk a little bit about the gear, protective gear.
Well, I was going to ask a question. That's when you're talking about snakes. And you're a big herper. Is it good hunting in the spring? Is it better to hunt them in the fall, the wintertime, because they're coming out to the roads? Like, what's best? Because some people may actually get into that.
Yeah, I've been into it. I lived in South Florida, so I worked at a park in the Everglades.
Did you now?
I did, and we had venomous reptiles that I was in charge of, and I also bred them at my house. Lots of them, lots. So I'm not going to go into numbers, but I have more than one. But for collecting wild ones, this is the time of year. So when it gets hotter and water becomes more scarce, they'll go to a water source. But right now, they're out, they're hunting. Prime time is when
because they kind of hibernate a little their own self, right?
Yeah. But like right now, like you said, the roads. So when it's nice and warm in the day when they can move around, but it's going to get cool at night, like tonight, they'll hit those roads trying to get that last little bit of warmth from the roads. So, yep. But, I'm not like I was. I used to be ate up with it. That was my passion. That's what I wanted to go do. And as a kid where I lived, that was fun to do. And now you get bit a couple times and then you slow down a little bit.
Yeah. See, this is the time of year that I keep an extra eye out. Not so much for snakes because, I don't hate them, but I'm not like, snake, right?
Yeah.
But there's one thing that will always stop and help across the road: turtles.
Everybody will. Yep.
The red ear sliders will be moving around, but we get the ornamental box turtle. There's a couple Texas stars up here every once in a while.
You can see any eastern. Yeah. And then when we go down south, like we went to McAllen, 2-3 years ago dove hunting, and I think we both found one, the Texas tortoise.
Yep.
And you see one of those cross the road. Anybody in Texas sees a Texas tortoise cross the road. There's like everybody's locking up, helping it across the road.
Are they endangered or are they threatened?
No, they're endangered.
Yeah.
And because they made cool pets. So but I do, because of, night hunting, and whether it's for hogs or raccoons or whatever we're doing, I do wear leggings, gaiters, that cover actually my entire shoe and go up the leg to right at the knee.
Yep. Just on the outside cheeks.
Yep, they're Velcro. I used to wear the ones that just covered, they started at the ankle and went up, and they had a zipper in the back. One, the plastic, so they're loud, but the other is, I've known too many people who got piped right there, right on the foot.
So mine look like gaiters, like for keep water and snow off of you, but they're a really thick, kind of canvasy looking material.
Yeah, that's kind of like mine.
And two reasons. One, I don't want to get bit. I made it to 39. I'm trying to keep that record going. Yeah,
that's a good record.
But number two is we will quickly reach the sticker part of Texas, like the sticker burrs.
Yep.
And
we're there.
That keeps them at bay pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, they and also we have, if y'all don't know what Osage orange is or horse apples,
I finally got told they're called something different, but I've always called them an ebony tree. But that's not the right term for them.
Right.
Honey locust.
Honey locust. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. They're unimaginable. Google it if you don't know what it is. It's the reason you don't touch things at night, because
the honey locust.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh that sucker is straight from the devil.
Yeah. It is
There's
insane.
nothing.
I was cutting them 3 days ago, trimming trees in my yard, trying to get rid of as many of them as I could, and there is no way you don't get hurt. Like, I don't care if you have gloves, long sleeve shirts, jacket. you getting it somehow or the other.
And they're the worst part about them. They're kind of like a Wasachi tree. That it's their needles are. I mean, I'll show the camera. How long? I don't know, probably inch and a half.
Yeah.
In my experience, even if you just barely touch it, it's just the very tip breaks off. And
If that happens about an inch down inside of you, it sucks.
yeah, and then you can't get it out, or you're digging. Yeah, it's horrible.
It is. But I mean, and it's not funny when it happens to somebody else, but you're sure glad it didn't happen to you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that sucks.
Why not tell the story? My worst story with the old pokies was happened when I was like 8 or 9. I wasn't much older than my son, and I was at my uncle's house, his ranch in Navasota or Whitehall area, and had to go poo.
Uh-oh.
So took a squat, not paying attention that much, like you should, for every reason in Texas. What was behind me, there was a prickly pear cactus, and I fell backwards into it.
I did that as a kid too.
So half-ass, pulled my pants back, half-ass, pulled my pants back up, and
There's a rim shot button on this thing somewhere.
made it back to the house. Well, my Aunt Dottie, I believe she was Navajo, and all brought me into the house, and every woman there came in. So it was like a family reunion. So I've got like 20, and I'm talking about my age and up. And they get me over a table, and I pull my pants down, and she knew what to do. God bless her. It was horrible, but she took hot wax. She lit a candle,
yeah.
and she poured it on my
All
bare
the
ass
little fine fibers.
and poured it out. And ever since that day, I have a weird thing with hot wax. I've
Yeah.
never.
Like,
No, I don't.
I know exactly where it came from.
I don't like it, but it. Yeah, it was a good trick. It worked. It got him because I was covered,
Oh yeah.
and that's why like you watch shows like Jackass and stuff. You see somebody intentionally jumping it, and I'm like, dude, why?
There's a
Instant regret. Gotta be.
there's a guy on the TikToks. I hope he's making a lot of money. God, I hope he is. He's like a white trash classic.
Oh, nice.
But he does like he'll jump off. And he's like got a boxing ring in his backyard, or he's got something. He
That
jumps
says a
off
lot
of
about
something,
somebody right
and
there.
then he'll do a front flip onto a table.
Is it a boxing ring or a wrestling ring?
Right, it's got to be wrestling.
Yeah, it's a wrestling ring.
But he'll do a flip over onto a table, but it's always covered with like horrible stuff, barbed wire,
And then his
broken
immediate reaction when he
glass.
does it is like intense pain. Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him.
I hope he's making a lot of money to be that dumb.
I don't think he's making a lot of money. I think he just
That dumb,
that likes that attention. I get it.
I guess.
That's special.
So my thing is, it's this time of year, this time till this time next year, pretty much all the time. Thermacell, that's where it's at.
Yeah,
Nothing for me. Nothing ruins a hunt
yeah.
than the bugs.
I'm that deep woods off guy. Mainly because of ticks.
Yeah.
And so deep woods off, long sleeve shirt, snake tips, obviously denim jeans, and then pretty decent hiking boots. Thick enough leather to where I'm not gonna get
The best tick I
step
ever
on one
had
of those
was right
locusts.
there where the top of your butt crack starts. And it was right there. I didn't notice it for a day or two, so it got big. And then I was out working, and Becky came home and she goes, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You look like you got a tail."
Nice. See, we had a thing back in the day when we were kids. Me and my cousins come in, and Grandma would tell you to strip down,
Oh, yeah.
and she would, just like you being going to jail, spread them and everything, and inevitably one of
I
us.
don't know what it is.
One of us has one.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, why they go to the waistline, but they always do.
It's the taint. It's for me. They would like it's a good little hiding spot.
I guess.
Yeah. Well,
And especially for us, why you're getting them as bad this time of year is as we start shooting pigs and we start taking trophy shots and stuff. That's where they're coming from.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can attest to that from weighing all the pigs at St. Patrick's. I actually only found 2 when I got home, but I tried to be as careful as I could this year. But they're out there. So yeah, deep woods off was my jam. I put that stuff on everywhere.
Yeah. The main thing is make sure it got DEET. If it doesn't have DEET in it, it ain't doing any good.
Yeah, if it's not causing you cancer, it's not getting rid of those. Yeah.
I mean, you got to die for something.
Yeah, gotta die. Yeah. Don't want to do it. And then because good Lord, the mosquitoes are so bad. Yeah.
I'm afraid how bad they're going to get this year. We got warm quick this year, and they're already starting to kind of get bad.
We didn't get really cold. Like, not very many hard freezes at all.
And see, I was hoping a couple years ago when we had that bad freeze here, you know, we had snow for a couple days,
Yeah.
that maybe this is what killed the mosquito. No.
It did kind of KO the fire ant for a while. They're back in force around my place, but, you know, kind of cool. Knocks them down for a year or two. Makes you appreciate walking around in your yard barefoot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Except for the sticker burrs.
Except for the sticker burrs. Yeah. And that's just part of the, hey, you know what? It's a small price to pay for living in Texas in the springtime. Because it is God's country for sure.
Absolutely is.
But puts everybody in a good mood. I fired the pit up for the first time last week. Did some Oryx steaks, which I always overdo. 'Cause, dude, it's 2.5 minutes on each side, max.
Oh, yeah.
They're just so lean, but they're still so good. So
Especially because when you're eating an endangered animal, it adds a special element to
that
it.
helps. They're really good. Time to clean the freezer out because we get the bear hunt, and then before too long we'll have our elk hunt. So we're going to kill an elk this year, right, buddy?
Power of positive thinking, sir.
Power of positive thinking. We're both going to kill a 400-inch elk.
We got the tuna trip.
500-inch. Oh, we got the tuna trip.
Yeah. And then
Captain Bob.
I hope to go shark fishing at some point this summer.
Yeah. I think we're going to do another Dad's Weekend
Oh, cool.
as we get into summer, and probably go to. You know, I was leaning towards Surfside, but where we were at last time was really nice. But I'm all about, you know, where we were at on San Luis for the San Luis Pass, where we all.
Yeah.
It was the day before you got there.
Okay.
We all hung out there and fished, and it was amazing on the sandbar where we were at. And for the size sharks, you know, we want to catch and have the kids catch and everything. You know, the 5 or 6 foot black tips. It's perfect because, you know,
They don't go to pins and chase the big ones.
man, it's a let's go start slow because that's a super labor intensive. Oh, yeah. It's a blast, and the game has changed since I went. You know, I used to go. I had the high rack in the back of the truck, and we had the jet ski. We'd run those lines out. Now drones, they'll carry a 2-pound bait out there and drop it 400 yards out. So that is a game changer. So maybe Pid's a good drive too.
I got a drone. I just got to figure out how we get it to release
Yeah, they sell one that.
for that.
Yeah, just it's made for that. Waterproof, like it's got everything you want.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. As soon as it drops, it automatically returns to home.
There you go. Well, I think we got that there will be a good smattering of shows going forward. I know.
Absolutely.
I know coming up through April, we'll have some kind of give folks something to kind of look forward to. We'll have some gear reviews talking about what we're getting. You know, we'll talk about getting ready for the bear hunt. We'll talk about gear we're going to take. You know, because I got some new stuff. I got a new stove coming in it's in Dallas. I ordered it from China.
Yeah.
China. It'll be here in a couple days, and I got that rifle I'm building out.
Yeah, we're gonna start shooting, getting out there, making sure we're consistent out to whatever, maybe 700-800 yards, wherever we feel our ethical limits are, and getting all our glass ready, getting our gear ready. We're doing a for real hike in, not weeks. But we're going to be in 5 days.
Yeah.
So that's enough to...
He sent me a photo last night and a photo this morning. He's scouting like crazy. He is all about it.
Yeah.
James is excited. I'm excited for him.
Yeah. I'm excited to be able to go hunting with James because he is one of the premier trout fishing guides, fly fishing guides in Ennis, Montana. And that says a lot because Ennis, Montana is the fly fishing capital of the world.
Hey, we need to get on the same mindset, the same page. We need to have it ready to go at a moment's notice. He tells us that salmon fly bite turns on this year.
It is.
It's in June, right?
We went last year and we missed it by like 3 days.
We were too early.
And he said, because you're absolutely right. When it hits, it's just like, and it only lasts for a little tiny window. Like you got to be there that day or the day out. We're talking a couple days, but apparently it is a religious experience.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's when supposedly, like when you imagine fly fishing and it's on the water and the trout comes up and gets it, and that's when you get the big ones. It's supposed to be just awesome.
Yeah, and it's like every cast. Yeah, using dry flies. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we ought to let's just pencil that in.
We just go pencil it in. Sorry guys, we're leaving. Y'all got this.
Salmon fly bites on. That's why we need the plane.
It is. No. Yeah. We can't afford trucks. How are we going to get a damn plane? I want a side-by-side real bad. Ooh, I do want a side-by-side real bad because now the old iRay has that magnetic.
When are those showing
up? I heard him talking to him today. It's supposed to be here like today or tomorrow.
So we will
Full
do
360.
We'll do as soon as they come in. We'll do a little video review on them.
Yeah.
We'll put it out to the socials and to the YouTubes. But that technology is finally coming down in price.
Yeah.
To where it's expensive.
It is. So
But
it's expensive.
it is.
But if you do what we do, as much as we do
It looks like a little minion,
it's
right?
exactly what it looks like with the one eye.
And it rotates in 360 degrees and it goes over the top, whatever many degrees that is. So basically, you have a view everywhere.
Yeah.
640 thermal core, remote controlled. You do have to run power to it. It doesn't run off a battery pack. You got to run power to it.
Which is easy because I got plenty of toggle switches and stuff in my truck. So that's just
right there. Finally, one of them to do something.
yeah, no kidding.
But on top of the remote control, the super high resolution, it also has a laser rangefinder built in.
Yep.
And for some reason, a visible laser built in.
It does.
Cool.
It does. I believe it has a remote as well. If you're not if you're linked up to it with your phone or something like that.
Yep, you sit there, just remote control it.
Yeah.
So if you've got a Ranger that's enclosed or top of a pickup truck or whatever,
Yep.
you sit there and cruise around and somebody running the app and
For real game
rock
changer.
on.
Yeah.
And it's going to be what, $7,000? I think that's what they are.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
It's
So-
yeah.
Somewhere in there. So heck, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, they used to be like 10 to 12.
Yeah, they were way higher.
So-
Dude, and just think this, in the wintertime when we're rolling around on the side-by-sides, we have to have the windows down so we can scout with the thermals. Now we can keep the windows up, the heat on, and man, that's party.
Just do it comfortably.
Getting fancy.
There you go.
Well, cool. Awesome. Well, we will. If you guys haven't noticed yet, kind of check it out. We have been hyper focusing on our social media.
Trying to get better at it. Trying to be more consistent.
We're learning. So we got on the TikToks.
And already got kicked off TikTok.
Got kicked off TikTok, but we're back on. We're trying.
We're trying to figure out what they're allowing and not allowing.
Yeah, because we put one of our hunting videos up, and
It was like instant no.
that was a no, and they came at us with dangers. It involved dangerous activities, which they don't like, and animal cruelty, which it didn't involve either of those.
But we have to be doing something wrong because there's hunting videos all over TikTok.
I think what it is, and I wasn't joking about this. I think we have a couple. What's the best way to describe them? People who don't have anything better to do that are anti everything we believe and stand for. And I believe it is their passion to kind of follow our social media and stuff and just hit. I
can believe it.
Whether it's hate speech or animal cruelty or just that's what they're doing, and their goal in life is try to get them pulled. Which I'm not going to let them win.
No.
Absolutely not. So we're doing the gram a lot more. Like Jake had said last time, we do have a new Facebook page.
Yep. Just Circle Star.
Just Circle Star. So because old Zuckerberg took our 11,000 followers and said bye. So he just shut us down, unpublished our page.
We've only had like a week. We're over 1,000. Making up ground.
If there was any ways to post on our old page, I guess we could invite. I don't know. We'll figure it out. What else are we doing? The YouTube. So the film.
Yep. Working on the editing, getting everything flowing better, looking nice. So as we go along, it'll get better.
It'll get better.
I promise.
And we are building a table, and we're going to flip this around because this is where all the wall that you can't see is where all the cool stuff is.
Yep.
And a little bit of table so y'all don't have to stare at this horrible little.
Slowly but surely,
gray
look better.
background.
I promise.
Absolutely, we won't, but the room will. So it's all down here from here. Buddy.
Yeah, you're stuck with us. Sorry.
Yep. So, guys, thank y'all so much for everything y'all allow us to do. Whether you're coming and supporting us in the store or
On the social.
on the social, if you're telling your friends about us, if you're listening to this,
That's how small businesses survive. That's how small businesses thrive. Is word of mouth.
it means the world to us. We really, really, really appreciate you. So, if you enjoy it, like it, share it, tell your friends about it,
Tell your mom and them.
tell your mom and them. Y'all have a wonderful week. We'll have another episode out in a short period of time, a few days. And if y'all need anything, just give us a shout.
We'll see you then, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors podcast with your hosts Jake Cawthon and Jason Westmoreland. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. New episodes drop every Monday and catch up in between episodes on the Circle Star Minute every Friday. For more information, visit CircleStarFirearms.com, or better yet, come see our great new store at 6320 Highway 90 in Anderson, Texas. Until next time, safe shooting, folks.